Hey everybody, this review is on Gladiator. So the plot of this movie is this man named Maximus, played by Russell Crowe, is a slave who seeks revenge on this man named Commodus, played by Joaquin Phoenix, because Commodus killed his family because he heard that Maximus is next in line to become emperor, and ends up he ends up killing the emperor, played by Richard Harris, who's in fact his own father, just because Maximus is next in line to become the next emperor. So he challenges Commodus to a bunch of gladiator fights in an arena, hoping he'll be dead. But so Maximus keeps learning to fight and learn his strength and survive all these gladiator fights, and hopefully bring back his freedom, and hopefully have everybody in Rome escape the powerful clutches of Commodus. What can I say about this movie that hasn't been said? I really liked this movie. It's great. Yes, I know for the past few months I've been saying I keep meaning to see this movie. Well, recently I finally did, and yep, the praise is earned. This is a really good movie. Um, I love how this movie, yeah, while this movie has been criticized for portraying gladiators and Romans as vicious fighters, the movie isn't all like that. I like how this movie basically, you know, focuses more on the idea that the gladiators weren't just people fighting in an arena for fun, even though that does kind of play a bit of a part in the story. But it's mostly due to the fact that it was about rivalry and there was actual conflicts that drove it. Because obviously Commodus is the antagonist, and you could tell that he's very power hungry and he really abuses his power. So you're like, yeah, we don't want to root for this guy. He he really holds a grudge, and he really takes the idea of being emperor personally because he killed Maximus's family over it. Because that makes you think, well, if that's the kind of thing that makes him think he'll be emperor, you don't want to root for this guy. And Maximus's journey throughout the movie is really good. Like, you do see him train, you do see him fight in all these arenas, and you see him even go on a bunch of adventures traveling around Rome to survive. And he even helps the slave named Juba, who's played by Jimin Honsu, and he befriends him. And he even shows that, and Maximus shows that he's not all about gladiator fights and proving everybody worthy of being the emperor instead of Maximus. He does it because sometimes he knows he has a heart inside him, and he knows he wants to do the right thing. He does. It's not purely out of, bad blood. He's not just trying to prove his rival right. Sometimes he just wants to do the right thing. He wants to fight for what's right, and that's basically kind of the message of the movie. Fight for what's right, even if and those who abuse their power don't really have good things coming to them. So it's a really good movie about bad blood and you get some really great fights, and it just shows how kind of broken the feudal system was in ancient times all around the world. Because the fact that all these people who ruled all these cities like Rome, like they abused their power. They want their rivals killed. So it's pretty intense. But well, okay, it's not intense. I don't mean like it's frightening, but like it's definitely interesting to see how all these people fought, and even some of their other things. Like, even you see Maximus being in a relationship with Commodus' sister, who's played by Connie Nielsen. Her name is Lucilla. And you can see, like, yeah, there's not just bad blood just because of the feudal system, but it's also because of the relationships people have, and they don't want anyone in their family to be associated with their rivals. So yeah, there's a lot of this movie's all about conflict, and it's not just about fighting. It's about the general idea of different families of different kingdoms fighting, and it's a really entertaining film. And there is a lot of action. Like, even when there's not action, it's still an interesting story to see what Rome was like back in ancient time. And I've seen Rome. I actually went to Rome, Italy last summer, and I did see the Colosseum, and it was very cool to see. And having seen this movie, I'm thinking, why didn't I see this movie before I went to Rome? But yeah, Gladiator, I don't know. some people will debate about this movie being historically accurate because, of course, that's always the criticism. But me, I don't know that much about how all the gladiator fights went. I mean, I did learn about some of it when I went to on some tours in Rome, but I think it's a really good movie. It has really good conflict. It has a really good story, some really good action, and it's it's not super action heavy. It's more about the drama that's very intense, but it's a really good film overall. And if you like if you like movies set in ancient times, if you're a fan of Roman history and gladiators, I think this is a good one to check out. It's very good. Russell Crowe's performance alone just sells it. He is a great actor, and I think this might be his best role. And even everyone else did really good too, but Russell Crowe was really the standout, and I can see why this won Best Picture. It's a very good movie, and I can't wait for the sequel to see the sequel whenever I can. So yeah, that's my review of Gladiator. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's a very good film, and if you love Roman history or if you like seeing old timey ancient gladiator fights, this is the movie for you. So take care.